and say yes.
Hello,
Yes.
welcome to The Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. Or am I? This is the 40k adjacent
Motion
show.
blur.
Yeah, we have a stellar all-star cast, as always, on the show, for more shows than the Stat Center now. So officially, members of The Honest Wargamer, Val Heffelfinger and the Falcon. Val, how are you?
Well, I'm reeling after that comment. And Tom Layton, not even 1 second into the show, already derailing it.
What did he say? What did he say?
Talked over your intro. I never talk over the intro.
I
I'm a
did.
good
It was
host.
me. I talked over the intro. Val, get over
God
it.
damn it.
Motion blur.
We're trying to straight some Potemkin this guy.
All right, we're also joined by Pete, the most awake Falcon we may have ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's weird.
Listen, when I don't have to deal with kids all night and I get to sleep in a posh hotel room, I get a good night's sleep. I get to sleep again when we're done here. I don't have to. They're like coronavirus is a thing, so I'm in this giant 10-story hotel. I'm probably one of 4 people in here. It's amazing. I could run naked through this hall. Probably only scare one maid.
Already has.
Already has.
And special guest today is Australian Tom, Singlet Tom. Hello, who I've currently called Dan, but I'll sort that out.
What a boat.
No, keep it.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I was kind of a last minute addition. I wanted you to exploit my labor.
Right, so hello everyone on Patreon, of course. Thanks so much for being here, and everyone on the Twitch chat, and of course on the podcast, guys.
Twitch chat.
Yeah, the Twitch chat. Who are, sorry again, Stu Flynn. I'm a good demon honest. Nikos, is Pete having an affair?
No.
Why not?
Quite the opposite. It's actually the worst experience. I'm here to pick up my mother-in-law, who's going to be staying with us for 4 torturous weeks of COVID sensationality, and I had to drive 8 hours to get her. I'm super looking forward to it.
Wait a minute. Your country's large enough that you can drive 8 hours and still not be in the sea.
I'm in this. I've been driven for 8 hours, and I'm in the same province. I'm not even part of the country.
Dude drove for 8 hours to get to the north end of his province. It's messed up.
Where I'm in is what people call northern Alberta. Is this city, which is halfway up the province. They're like, it's too far for us.
Yeah,
I drove 8 hours south to get here.
Yeah.
So,
when Pete goes
on a
to a
highway,
tournament,
going
he drives
120.
8 hours so he can fly 8 hours.
Pete,
Or more.
loads of questions. While you have Ice Road truck down to pick up the mother-in-law, question, is she into stats, and have you been able to pick up any physical codexes?
I have got physical codexes. I did get my Death Watch supplement, and I got what else did I pick?
Nice. That's out of stock here.
Finally got my Death Watch supplement, and what was the other thing I picked up? Not Blood Angels, because I pre-ordered that to a store to hope it'll get to me. The Space Marine Codex, I finally picked that up too.
That's very convenient because it also takes you 8 hours to drive to the nearest hobby store.
Yeah.
No, isn't there a closer one and whatever? And
Grand Prairie.
in Howling
It has-
Wolf? Oh yes,
in
Grand Prairie.
Yes, Howling Wolf.
Whatever.
Dildo.
That's only 4.5 hours away, but they were sold out last time I was there. So
Yeah.
they
You're-
only had
you're
next
Brett.
month, so.
You're like a breathless 8-year-old right now, Pete. I haven't seen you bring this.
So happy. Val, it's been 11 months where I've only seen a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 2-year-old and my wife. That is it. I've talked to no one else. So I've still talked to no one else, but I'm in a nice room doing it. So,
Flawless.
Wow.
I'm
So
glad to have...
everyone, this is the full Falcon right now, guys.
It's
Never go full
I'd
stop.
still 75%
Unbridled.
Falcon. I'm sick. I'm still got a little bit of cold. Just living my life, though.
Wow.
Maybe this is a bit of some kind of hallucinogen kicking in, but
Oh, bless you.
I'm down for that. Sounds pretty.
I'm sick. Here's props. Val got up a little bit late. Pete, Val, were you up playing TTS again?
I wish. No, you know what actually kept me up too late last night was I have been on a mission to play this game called Squadrons, which is a remake of Legendary Games X-Wing and TIE Fighter. And I've been on a mission to try and play this in VR using a joystick and what they call a hot ass setup.
Is
HOTAS.
that the MOBA?
No, this is it is an X-Wing and TIE Fighter simulator basically. It's like a flight
Okay.
sim for playing the Star Wars.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's just space, so it's all just nothingness.
Yeah, well, except it's Star Wars, so there's sound effects and stuff. So, you're not in the vacuum. Exactly. And hands on throttle and stick. That's right. Anyway, turns out my joystick was broken, so I had to break it down. I actually opened it up, unscrewed everything, and then had to like modify the case so that the sensor worked again. Anyway, it was a lot to go through, and then finally worked. And I have to say, it was one of the coolest gaming experiences I've ever had. It was amazing.
I feel like you could go all the way in on that, like build like a replica like cockpit, and it could be like real serious.
Balls deep.
Yeah. Simulator people are wild. My favorite ones are the ones that aren't even like skill based, like Euro Trucker, where you just literally the whole thing is like driving from Berlin to Praha, and you just changing lanes and shifting gears.
I might download like Road Truck or whatever it's called. I might just do Pete's Drive one day. Like, just
do it. You will not be excited.
That's incredible. That is a great idea. Let's do an 8-hour stream of virtually driving to Pete's house. I'll ride shotgun.
All right, perfect. That's it. I wonder how many other people we get in our van, but I'm up for it. Chuckle Buddy, thanks for subscribing.
Yeah, thanks, Chuckle Buddy. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Chuckle Buddy, big fan of yours, Pete.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice. Yeah.
He subscribed for 37 months.
Yeah. He likes White Scars
37.
as well. I know. It's a long time.
White Scars. Like, legit likes White Scars, or only likes them because they're good?
Yeah, he probably only likes them because they're good. Like everyone only likes White Scars because they're good, right?
Yeah. Not a real Mongolian.
Right, so we're on the show, 40k adjacent show. Anything could be the subject today at all. If there are any questions in the chat, there are some hot topics. Tom is on the show to bring. He's brought a hot.
There are hot topics.
Hot topic to bring to us, but
like the store.
I'd like to just quickly mention a small game of TTS that occurred between two of the show hosts here. Either me or Good Rob, because I'm evil twin Rob, was played. Val, we played a game of TTS.
That was only a week ago?
That was last Wednesday.
Jesus. Whoa.
Time is so long.
Time is a flat circle.
We had a good time, though. Fun experience.
We did. I felt like you were getting a little passive aggressive about how long I was taking towards the end, but it was definitely fun. And you turns out Stompas can be shot off the table, which is problematic. Not even just slapped by 3 sanguinary guards.
Yeah. Not just 3 sanguinary guards.
3 sanguinary guard that heroically intervened into him. Yeah, he was aced in epic fashion by 18 smash-a-guns, in which Rob took his last wound by rolling his last 2 damage rolls, obviously 2d6. He rolled a 6, re-rolled the other dice into a 6. So he went boxcars to kill the Stompa, which, I mean, if he's going to go down in 1 round of shooting, that's the way to go. It's awesome.
It was hilarious. Like, how many wounds left? It was like 6 guns firing. You're like, how many wounds left? You're like, 12. I was like, okay, all 6. And then I only got 2 wound dice through. I was like, oh no, this won't be it. Then you failed both.
I was actually afraid of the boxcars. I was like, okay, so there's a chance he could die here. So I re-rolled one of my saving throws to try and like make it so that it was impossible for him to explode. Didn't work. And I just brought the bad voodoo on my head.
Turned a 6 into a 6. But then we re-racked.
The second game was, and then we immediately re-racked, and the second game was, I think, a little more interesting.
Yeah, a lot.
Can we fix the issue with Val's feed? What's wrong with Chuckle Buddy?
I don't think there's anything wrong with your feed. It sounds fine to me. The audio's clear. So I'm not sure what's going on. But yeah, a fun time. Very, very fun. But I've got like this. I've got the curse. I've got the Death Guard disease. I just want to keep painting them and playing them at the moment. So that's what I'm about. But Tom, you have an issue to raise with us. This is why you.
I'm just here because I wanted to build a knight, and I fancied doing it with you guys. But I also read a blog post. No, genuinely, that's it. I also read a blog post saying streaming 40k is bad because you are exploiting people's labor effectively, and I laughed at it.
if it's a conversation about defending the exploitation of labor, Rob's all over it because
yeah. I'm just trying to make it a 2v2. If I can frame it in such a way, we can get Rob saying, "Yeah, fuck streamers," and I'm like, "Okay."
You're so torn.
I'm so torn. Was it just a terrible take? It was just the idea that people who appear on stream, labor is being taken. Is that the idea?
I'm going to be honest. I rolled out of bed. I scanned Reddit. Was like, bruh. And now the Welsh captain's in my chat saying, actually, I think it makes some fair points. And I'm like, oh fuck. I'm going to argue with these guys.
Tom, This is vintage Leighton. You didn't read the whole thing. He's saying
classic Leighton.
He's saying that it's the person who plays the streamer who's being exploited.
Yeah.
Not the streamer himself. Not the streamer themselves. So the person playing the streamer is having all of their quote.
You can still make the same point. So let's say you're at a tournament. Then we can take that out then, right? Because it's not the same context. But if I appear on a stream, like let's say I could talk about this. I have been scheduled to go down to Glasshammer Gaming twice to go and play Manny on stream. I would not get paid to do that.
Sure.
But it is worth my time.
Son of a bitch.
I know. And so, I would also have to drive 2 hours.
So boycott Glasshammer Gaming is what you're saying.
Boycott Glasshammer Gaming. I would still go down.
I only skim listened. So I don't know what the whole point is.
This is normal. So when I work at the school, like if you ever tell like a 6-7-year-old kid to do something, like say, do not walk on the wall, little Jimmy. All they hear is walk on wall, and we just do it before they're well, I told you now. Yeah, damn it, Jimmy. But
Jimmy's my mate.
Yeah.
I don't know if this argument even really is. No, it sounds like such a terrible
point. What I'm about
point.
to say is, one of the benefits of going on stream, right, is that I can go back and watch my game.
Sure.
So it's not just a learning experience for everyone at home; it's a learning experience for me as well. So that's point one, effectively, because when you're streaming games, and you guys, Falcon, you did the commentary at CCBB as well. When you're watching from a top-down view, it's often to see from a slightly different perspective how the game is going, right? And so often you come up with things that you wouldn't have originally. Like after I finished my game at the Invitational with Nick, Alex messaged me and says, "Oh well, the one thing you could have maybe done differently was charge here." And from his perspective, it looks like I could. So I went back, watched it. I had to think about it, and I was like, "No, I couldn't have charged there. It wouldn't have worked." And I wasn't in range because of the sequencing. But at the same time, that's a suggestion, and it's gone back and made me think. It's not something that I actually saw at the table. It didn't matter because I couldn't and shouldn't have done it anyway, but it's something that I can then go back and look at. So that's point one. It's very useful as a learning tool. There's a reason why people record scrim blocks in professional esports. The second reason is that if you are someone like, I think I'm going to use Nick as an example again because he's perfect for it. If you are out there representing a brand with sponsors, appearing on the stream is a prerequisite for those sponsors. If you can say, look, we've received this much exposure, therefore you can leverage better sponsorship deals. Now, 40K is not in necessarily a position where we're just full of people who work for esports orgs and have some kind of obligation to represent sponsors well. And even then, it's like, well, you got to represent them well.
I have some just fun thoughts real quickly. Just thinking about this. Just thinking about top 8 of LVO. Yeah, imagine some nobody. Let's call him Rob Symes, but whoever, right, gets into the top 8 at LVO.
Sob rhymes, if you will.
Yeah, that guy. Let's say he gets into the top 8 of LVO, and then I would love for the future to be that someone's contacted him on the Saturday night, and he's like, "We want to sponsor you," like, because he's going to be in on those streamed games. So somehow between Saturday day being the no one and Sunday when he gets to the top 8 streams, someone's picked up a sponsorship and somehow printed him a t-shirt or a sticker or something to wear. Could you see that being a thing, Val Pete?
I think 2 years ago, yeah, not anymore, but 2 years ago, Mark Wright got to the top 8 of LVO, and no one had ever heard of the guy before, and he did it with Mono Blood Angels, and everyone was like, "Who the F is this guy?" And I mean, if you looked at the history, you realized it's because he got a bye turn 1 and didn't know he was playing his Death Company captains wrong for the entire tournament. But
hey man,
still hilarious to get to top 8. And the best part is Pablo interviews him at one point, and it's like, "Man, how are you doing? How'd you get here?" And he's like, "I really don't know. I don't know anything. I've been rolling charges and killing stuff." The end.
These captains are really good.
They kill stuff real good.
Um,
Mark's a really good guy, by the way.
This actually brings up to mind something that I've been thinking about for a long time, which is just like how vulnerable in general I feel like Tournament 40K is because of how much it refuses to take itself seriously. Like, for example, no one signs a release to be put on stream. There's no anything in a pack that I've ever seen that says like, if you do this well, you have to be on stream. There's no.
I think there is one though.
Is there now?
Was LVO?
So LVO last when Alex was there, I think it was 2019, had a thing where it's like you had to use full GW models, otherwise you couldn't make the top 8.
That's right.
Yeah.
So LVO
does have it.
Also, terrible contract for that certain event that I'm not going to mention.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh,
So so one is, but even still, the LVO one. I mean, it's not a release to be on stream. Like,
no.
And anyway, I just feel like there could be so many more things we do carefully that would avoid any sort of exploitation or unfairness, so that people know going into something that, hey, I could wind up on stream and I have signed away my rights to that, so that if this fella were to somehow find himself at the top of a tournament, he's not being exploited for his labor, and that's what we care about.
I would. I'll go on, Pete, after you.
No, I just agree. We shouldn't exploit people.
You
John Cook is on Knights of the Game Table all the time. I'm sure that they only pay him in whiskey, if anything.
They just unplug his scooter. He can't even leave the store.
Imagine having to steal maths from somebody else's video, dude.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Hellstorm. Poor Mikey.
Yeah, but my point is, imagine just not doing, like, there is literally a thread on Reddit full of the maths. And even then, the maths are important, but they're not, like, you know how much I love my maths, but they're not the be all and end all. Because when you take the maths for like that kind of stuff, you are assuming that all weapons are equally represented on the tabletop, which they are not.
I have no idea what's going on, by the way, but it's great. I love
it.
it. I was like, what is
that? Can the top tier... Can the top row get some information from the bottom row?
Okay, sorry.
Like,
so
you say maps or maps?
Maps, like he's talking about maps, but with the plural.
Okay,
right? With an S on the end.
Because I was just thinking about Mikey, like with the like just drop kicking a door with Mr. Cook and stealing maps, because that is a story that he did. He actually had to go and steal his terrain.
Yeah, John Cook stole all his terrain back that one day, but that's also funny. But Mikey from Hellstorm did like some statistics on weapons into Plague Marines, and one of them he did was like Hell Blasters, where he was showing, they do kill stuff, but for their points they're awful. And Knights of the Game Table took his all his graphics that he did up, didn't remove any of the watermarks. They're like, we found this in a Death Guard forum, blam, splattered on their website for like their paid subscribers or some shit. And it was like, here we go, look at how good Hell Blasters are. We have them available if you want to buy them. With no content.
I think Mikey would be fine with that. I think he'd see that as collaboration and inspiration.
But did he at least trade them for some pickup artist tips?
Oh man, for
Mikey doesn't need pickup artist tips, guys.
For a second wife though, you need second wife.
He needs another one.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Oh wow, I don't know if we. Anyway.
I just wanted to quickly go on that maths point, because let's say you say, okay, here's 20 guns where it's got, and the curve looks like this between these guns. Mm-hmm. Well, if I'm looking and say you got a bolter, an autocannon, a shuriken catapult, I can guarantee that you're not going to see 2 shuriken catapults, 2 bolters, 2 autocannons, 2 las cannons in every single list you play against, right? So it's never going to matter saying, oh, well, against this side of the curve, it's really good. Well, yeah, okay, then maybe we take those things. But at the same time, you can eliminate a lot of factors by just saying, well, how likely am I to play these things? And then when you look at the game, if you take -1 damage, you are instantly just completely screwing Craftworld's Drakari and Tau. Those 3 lists cannot do a thing to you. Whereas if you take a 5++, what ends up happening is you are slightly more resilient into everything. And now where that has value is where you are controlling what you're going to hit. So let's say I'm playing in a T-Room environment. If I take -1 damage, I can just say, well, if you pair any of these 3 armies into me, you lose. Whereas if I have 5++, it doesn't matter what you pair into me. It's just the same thing.
Yes. I agree. I know what he's saying. Val's done though.
Yeah.
This is very 40k, Tom.
Val just sees every parent at the bus because that's what ended up happening.
I wanted to go back to streaming because I want to ask a question. You guys have all paid attention to top level streaming and also esports. My question is, what is the right? Go on.
I was going to just tell Tom that this is more of a meta streaming channel conversation topic type show. So this is more what we talk about. How to actually stream 40. Go ahead.
My question is what area of the human body is going to be best to put advertising on in future?
Areolas.
Back of your bald spot, right on the top of the gamer bald spot, so that way you can, when you're leaning over the table, you have like goldencasino.com or whatever right there.
Wait,
you know what? I'm going to say this is a conversation I've physically had to have at multiple streams about like trying to avoid showing gamer bald spots. This would fix that. We wouldn't have to move cameras and
monetize it, baby.
Or you embrace the bald spot and decide who's winning based on how red their bald spot gets. Because if it's getting red, they're getting very stressed.
I just want to slap a sticker on Brad Chester's forehead, like while he's in the middle of a game, like him throwing dice, and you're just like, bam!
Bald spot. He's just bald.
I like that. Sugarboy's come up with a great idea. Imagine how like disruptive you would be if you're like, you're not stealing my labor, and you put on a very large sombrero as you lean over the table, so most of the board is unseeable due to hat choice.
I really want to see that. I want someone to yell at me during a stream. You're not stealing my labor. I would die. I would be done. So, I would shake their hand and leave the building. I'd be
if we get to a specific point though, where he's saying it's not talking about events. It's talking about the people who are going down to play with a streamer. I think we actually agree with this, Rob, because the one example where we've had someone come and play on the stream who has come from a decent distance, right?
Yeah.
We paid for his travel.
That's true. We did.
So, I don't know. Insane.
Yeah. I drugged him. It's just how it did it.
Oh, I see.
Down. So I paid the petrol.
I see. I don't know. I think if there was money being made, like I think this guy's assuming there's like, even if there is, I mean, it's like not like anyone's rich and famous off this shit. Maybe it'll happen one day. And I don't know, like talking philosophically with Rob a few times about like this in general, I've always said that like the league comes first. So it needs like whoever is producing the content. And this is why if you look at sports, it's always like an evolution of the league gets too powerful and the players rebel and they get free agency and rights and all kinds of blah, blah, blah. The labor overcomes. But in the beginning, it's like the people who are organizing the games, the tournaments, the stream, the whatever, they're the ones with the risk and the money involved.
Yeah.
And so they need to get paid first. Otherwise, it just doesn't happen. Right? Like it'd be like saying like, don't pay fees to play in a tournament because you're being exploited to play 40K. Not really. Like you wouldn't get to play in the tournament if you didn't pay the tournament fee. You wouldn't get to see. We wouldn't see stream games if everyone demanded a salary for doing it. So like it's just a little off. Like maybe 10 years from now this is very valid. I mean, but like right now it is not.
If you want,
I'm exploited every time I don't give a shit.
100p.
I mean, if you want a salary for doing it, just get some sponsors. I mean, just do it a lot.
Yep, and do it a lot.
Yeah, get good, nerds.
Tom's got it. I mean, like we talked at the beginning of the show. I've driven 8 hours and then flown like another 12 to go to events to commentate. And like Darren paid for my hotel and gave me some awesome meals for CCBB, which was more than I'd ever gotten before. Previously, like Pablo gave me a box of used aggressors for BAO.
We got hooked up large at LVO. We got
we got hooked up large at LVO. So like, but like some of it, like most events I've ever done, I've gotten nothing unless I've been like, hey, can I take that painted Iron Father Pharaohs in the used cabinet? And they're like, I guess so.
I'll just have it.
We were going to sell it.
This is mine.
We were going to sell it. I was like,
actually,
much there.
So I got money at one event actually. So like the traditional business plan for the Honest Wargamer / the T Sports Network now is always they pay for travel and accommodation and food when we're there, and then effectively that's the quid pro quo. Perfect phone calls all the time, and so that's the system that we've gone. But some places have some people have gone beyond and beyond, like beyond, for instance, Canhammer Darren, or Karen. Karen from Dan Hammer.
Karen from Dan Hammer.
Because he just took us out for food all the time. He reset my heart. I mean, who else has done that for me?
I will say, that's probably the biggest payment you've ever received was saving your life.
That was important. By the way, I just want to point out something here, right? Very quickly. People are missing one massive business opportunity. There is one man who appears on all the streams and ends up in lots of places I would never have imagined he would have ended up in. And if you could sponsor him, you would get so much exposure. If anyone can go out and sponsor Innes Wilson, they will get so much money in sponsorship deals. It would be insane.
He's radioactive,
dude,
man.
He appears on every podcast. I look on Twitter and he's just randomly in a tournament with Magikarp used fly. And I'm just like, how did you end up here? He just appears everywhere. Someone go and sponsor that guy.
Innes Wilson getting sponsored. I don't think we need to big that guy up any more than he bigs himself up here.
He just appears. But he appears everywhere.
He's pretty baked.
Slap a logo on his massive forehead. He'll be fine.
He does. Wow. He looks like an adult baby. He's great.
He does look like an adult baby.
Have you seen that picture of him with Riku at the ETC and they just look the same? So there's this Finnish guy called Riku, and then there's Innes, and they both look exactly the same. They look like
both giant babies. Is like the movie Boss Baby.
Can I just say, I wasn't finished with my tale of Dare and Do.
Sorry.
In the one event that I got money from I was at the Age of Sigmar Six Nations, and all the team captains just had a whip around, which is like the nicest thing ever. They were like, "Here's 120 poons," and I was like, oh, "That's fucking really nice. I really appreciate that."
They put the hat. They put the hat up for you. Like everyone just did a little collection for the Honest Wargamer.
Yeah. Like the Irish guys all threw in. Like the English guys gave me 2 dice. I think they put 20 quid in. I'm not sure. That's an Age of Sigmar joke. We all know that. Like Team England, pretty great guys, but obviously also bad guys.
To be honest, mate, they've got like Luke and JP in there, so I feel like I'm going to switch.
We're the baddies.
I'm going to switch to AOS full time because that team's so easy to get into if Luke and JP can get picked. I mean,
wow.
Easy.
Apparently, Pizza Guardian on YouTube thought I was being serious when I said Innes is radioactive. No, literally radioactive. Like he's got a lot of isotopes in his blood, and he will give you cancer.
He's drunk a lot of Viber.
He doesn't look like he has any hair due to some sort of radioactive fallout.
Yeah, I did just message him to let him know that he is now going to be referred to as Boss Baby by me forever. Innes Boss Baby Wilson.
That's it now. Like in the brackets, that's his player name.
His Boss Baby forever. And I really hope it sticks because I'm going to make it stick.
I feel like it's really a dick move to exploit Innes's appearance when he's like to defend himself or get paid.
It's true. He's not being paid for our use of his brand here.
Well, neither are the people that made Boss Baby, which is an excellent Netflix TV series and movie.
I mean, you know how pro gamers tend to have like these handles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just Boss Baby.
I think that's what Falcon's ripping off, basically.
Yeah. We're gonna do it.
It's Boss Baby Wilson. I love it.
Which is why
let's get that on his Team Scotland jersey or whatever they use these days. Kilt.
Yeah, that's why, Tom, you changing your Twitter handle / stream name to the most difficult to read.
It was better than the previous one. You're just uncultured.
I have no problem being called a swine. I'm not Giuliani, but I'm pretty. I'd marry my cousin.
Looks like
there we
go.
There's the politics.
There we go. We're back. Val, are you looking at what Innes looks like? Is this what you're currently up to?
He's like, what is a Boss Baby?
What is a Boss Baby?
It's a drug reference. Is this like when you guys called me a fuckboy? I need to look this up on the YouTubes.
So
hey, I know what that means now. Apparently, it's bad for different reasons than I thought.
Yeah, it is.
But it's also kind of a compliment. The ability to be a fuckboy.
It means you are exploitive in a different sense.
It means you can start up a coaching service for $90 a month without any qualifications.
Can't wait. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm in it. So my follow-up question, which has got nothing to do with any of this, so therefore is an aside, is are you guys concerned? Me and Pete talked about this off air, but this is a Val question. This is in the Val realm. It seems like shipping of stuff
Oh,
shipping
didn't
of
I share?
stuff.
Did I share an industry blog post with you yesterday about this? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was already a conversation that was happening on the Small Game Discord, which I found quite fascinating. Is that like it might be impossible to get product out of Games Workshop from the UK sometime soon?
Well, Games Workshop is I don't know. This is looking kind of dicey because one, they can't get stuff out of China, which is why I suspect we don't have a Death Guard Codex. Way to rely on print, guys. All right.
All right.
Because there's a container shortage because everyone's trying to catch up their orders from COVID. China sends out 3 shipping containers for every 1 that it gets back. So the Chinese are like going crazy trying to make as many containers as they can because it's like it went from something like $2,000 to $10,000 to ship a container full of stuff. And Games Workshop probably just wouldn't do that. It was like, fine, we'll carry it. We'll send it on some dolphins anyway. And the other one is Brexit's about to happen, and you guys are cruising towards a no-deal Brexit, which is kind of terrifying. Way to go, team. We'll see if it happens, but yeah. So that's not good. Like if that happens, that's just super bad. Like I mean, they do have the UK does have agreements with Canada and the US. So I guess just like the Second World War, we got you back, homie. But the ports will be just crammed with stuff. Like it'll because apparently just customs declarations. There's some estimate from like the Exchequer or whatever the hell the name of it is in the UK, where it was like some number of billions of dollars in just productivity loss just by filling out customs declarations, which right now don't have to happen. So literally paperwork is going to cost so much money because if you guys don't have some sort of a deal, there'll be a massive flight to it's awful. It's awful. It's super bad. And I think toys are probably the least of your worries if that shit goes down.
I was saying
that
this
was
to
what we were
Pete.
talking
I was
about
like,
at the beginning of the show.
Me and Pete were with Pete. I was like, hey Pete, you guys might not get any Warhammer in the next 6 months. And he was like, oh no. And I was like, we probably won't get food. And he was like,
Maybe you can survive on crumpets. I don't know.
Yeah. You guys can make your own BAPs and BIPs and BOPs.
Yeah,
and things.
BAPs and BIPs. You don't have to import those.
Call the bread cake. Fuck you.
I think we have to import the flour for the bips and baps. Is the main.
Oh
issue.
yeah, you can't like crush your own wheat or whatever it is these days.
Oh, yeah. Stefan actually makes a very good point, which is this whole thing's falling down over fishing rights. Which, as Canadians, we get this. This is a big deal. I think the only time we've deployed our Navy in the last 40 years has been to defend our fishing territory against Spanish people. At any rate, that's deep cut reference from like 1994. Anyway, this is all falling down around fishing rights because they don't want the French coming over the channel and taking all cod. Well, okay.
Well, but isn't miniatures worth more than the fish?
Can we also talk about how this threatens like all of the hard work that has happened with the whole no longer in a terrorist war with Ireland? Like that is totally in play, that this completely fucking sinks peace in Ireland. Like it's crazy. I don't understand.
Now I see why it's called the Adjacent Show.
So one of my favourite bits about being in Ireland recently, or last year actually, so I was in both Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland for different events, covering Age of Sigmar events. Both incredibly lovely communities, very hospitable.
Did not tell either community that you're going to the other event, but yes, go ahead.
No, they're all friends, right? But this is the point. All the guys from Republic of Ireland travel north, all the guys from Northern Ireland, they travel south, and they all meet up and they play games, and they're just having a great time. My favourite bit is my friend Colin was just doing the kind of thing where you're just having a chat. He was speaking to one of the other lads from Northern Ireland because he's from Southern Ireland, and he was just oh my god, it's so quick. So I just came straight up the road, and I was like as a thing, and I was like, that's an interesting thing. Like, why is that? Why would that be? I was like, is the road normally closed? They're like, oh no, they've just built it. And I was like, what do you mean? It's like, well, previously we didn't have a road from the south to the north in case tanks would come down or up. Yeah, and I was like,
it's fair.
I was like, what the fuck?
It's not that long ago, guys. This is something that Tony Blair somehow figured out. So
what? Tony Blair figured something out?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
shit.
doesn't want. He negotiated all that stuff, didn't he? Or he was involved in negotiating it. Anyway, I can't remember how it all went down, but yeah. So fuck. Hopefully, it's all hype, and this is just some sort of like 4D chess being played by Bojo. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that guy frequently forgets to do up his zipper.
Well,
So-
but to swing it back around to Warhammer is the question.
Yeah.
Because it is genuinely a statement. Like, I'm like, wherever you land on how badly you think the next month will go for like general shipping and everything else, ignoring like the stuff happening with COVID affecting China's got nothing to do with Brexit, but it is already affecting delivery and production.
Yeah.
What's going to happen then? Like, what's going to happen to the North American meta with like opening up? But because you guys already can't get books, right?
They can't steal it as quickly.
You can't get models. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know what's in store. Like, I haven't been like paying attention. Like, yes, it's been hard to get stuff. Also, I may have inappropriately attributed stuff to Tony Blair that I shouldn't have. Please ignore anything I just said about Tony Blair. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's kind of beside the point. Like Games Workshop could have done stuff. Like, this has been a 4-year train wreck coming at us. So like, there's stuff that they could have done, maybe, to just add production elsewhere. But that's like in more general stuff. Like, they probably could have a factory somewhere else other than the UK at this point, whether it's China or Australia or Canada or US or somewhere else, just in case. Also to help meet demand. That would probably work. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. This Brexit stuff is super spooky, crazy. Also, just raw materials. Like, you guys don't make plastic. Like, even if it's just stupid little beads and stuff, get melted down and then put in your molds. Like, you don't make plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just shit like that. Like, just basic stuffs to make this game
the idea
go.
of like the plastic reclamation wars, where there's like heavy enforcers, Games Workshop reps, covered in armor, kicking down doors to reclaim your sprues.
Melt them down. We need more of the minis.
Yeah, you just go right back to rationing. Maybe that's it. Maybe Bojo's just like, yeah, we'll just go back to the Blitz rules. It'll be good.
It'll be perfect.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll stray away from that now. That's enough. Pete, what good 40k lists are about that are shock? Is there anything fun in the world?
There's nothing fun. Like, nobody's playing. The only people that are playing are crazy. Australians are starting. So we'll start to see some good stuff out of them, I'm sure. But not yet. Western Australia had a couple events, but they're kind of new.
I love how we start to, what's the NA meta going to look like? And then Pete goes immediately to, this country is going to play some stuff we can steal.
That's what we have to do. It's like there's a 100-person event coming up in Albany, Georgia. I don't know what to think about that. They're looking at making it 7 rounds. I think it's 6 right now.
Pretty clear what we should think about that.
So, yeah.
Wait, there's an event in Georgia right now.
Going to be January 7th, I think, is the next major that they're planning for the States. And it's like the New Year's something or other. Last year it was like 40 people. This year they're having over 100 show up for it.
No, they can't possibly do that.
That's what they're doing.
Oh my god! But they can't get they won't get an ITC token, will they, for it?
I think they already have one.
Oh, no.
I might be wrong. I think they already have one. I don't think there's been any tokens submitted post January 14th period, as far as I understand. But I think that first week of January, basically right up until LVO, I think there's tokens that have been put out. So don't quote me on that. I didn't do the research. Just from what I've seen, it looks like they do have their stuff.
100-person event, Pete?
Yeah, in Albany, Georgia.
Let's see here. Let's see what the odds of running into somebody in Albany, Georgia. I gotta find it. How do we find it?
But Objective Secured in Australia, they've had 2 kind of almost GTs where they had 50 people show up and they did 4-round events. I think in a couple weeks they're doing an 80-person major. So cool. Kudos to them, because they've never had a big major in. I don't think Objective Secured have ever done one. They've done some team events, but never a singles event. So Michael Bask is really putting up some numbers there. We'll see what that looks like.
Wouldn't it be nice for the Australian community, who always put on prodigious events, They always have loads of stuff happen. They work really hard at it. Like, they're very committed, very serious. Like everyone else, really. But they really have never had like the kudos from Games Workshop or really recognition. You know, it's been and they have big numbers. It's a big scene, both Age of Sigmar and 40k. Like, when
given their geography, it's particularly incredible. The fact that because Western Australia is like a tiny island of people, and then you have Victoria, a tiny island of people, and then there's basically just death everywhere else in that continent. Mm-hmm. So it's really cool to see that they're able to get these like diverse things. I mean, Adelaide is holding their Australian Nationals in mid-January, and they're looking at I can't like 70, 80 people, 100 people for that. There's another major supposed to happen the week before that. So there's like a lot going on in Australia because they got their COVID numbers down to 0 finally. So like everything's coming up Millhouse for them. So that's really where I'm going to probably be focusing my attention for the next little bit.
Yeah, same. And what are good sources of information? Like how would you go and find out what's happening in Australia right now? Mostly
through Down Under Parents.
Sorry, can I just interrupt for 1 second?
Sure.
So I was just curious because actually Darren for Dan Hammer Karen has shared a tool in the TO group, which is the COVID-19 event risk assessment planning tool, which tells us that in Albany, Georgia, an event with 100 people in it has an 85% chance risk of someone with COVID-19 showing up to it. This tool made by Georgia Tech University. Thank you, everybody. That's amazing.
Can we get what's the dice numbers on that? Like in order to avoid it.
85, that's like a 3-up re-rolling.
What, 85% is like it's like a 2+.
Close to a C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at a 2+ to get it to happen.
You just need me to turn up, and then you roll, and like a C is against me, and if you roll a 6, no one has COVID. And then just every time, no one has COVID.
You're fine.
Yeah.
So you know.
Can't CP reroll that anymore, though. Can't CP reroll it anymore. They changed the rules.
So bad news basically for this event. Who's running it? Because he sounds like a fucknut.
I don't know.
I mean, these are come on. They're just statistics. It's just numbers. Don't math hammer the game, Rob. We're just trying to forge a narrative.
Math hammer. We're going to beat COVID with the power of math hammer, and then Knights of the Game Table is going to steal it.
What do they even do? What do they do? I've only ever heard of them.
That.
I can only tell you what they do off stream, Rob. It's some heinous shit, dude.
Oh, okay. All right. I've never heard of those guys. But they got a cool name. Do they
They did nail it down.
No, don't advertise that shit, dude.
They did nail down a good name. I'll give them that.
That's a good name.
Put that on a sombrero for sure.
Ooh, advertising sombreros coming soon from the Honest Wargamer. Please keep your eyes out for those.
Oh, man.
When you want your wargaming sombrero.
I would buy one in a second if you got.
I feel like that's good. That's maybe a good opportunity for our first adjacent show specific swag. A sombrero. How
dare you? We've already got
a different face on it.
Have you not seen the podcast Fuckboy t-shirts?
That's a t-shirt?
That's a t-shirt.
What?
T-shirt, pal.
Oh, well. Sounds great.
We're only here really to create memes which become t-shirts.
I like that Val's like, I'm on a t-shirt? That's all he's thinking right now. He's like, this is hot. I'm into this.
I'm getting 100 of these t-shirts.
Don't we have like a Breaking Bad Val t-shirt as well?
A very oblique reference to me is on a t-shirt. That's as close as I've been to being on a t-shirt. I'm in. It's good.
I literally think your face is on it.
No.
It is. It's you with the glasses with the stash.
Yeah.
No, it's just the glasses and the stash. It's like it's a artistic.
Val 100% knew this existed. Like
I didn't know. I know that picture exists. I didn't know that was a t-shirt.
Yeah, and of course I'm stealing your labor and your image to make money.
Where can I buy this shirt? Can I be the only one who's ever bought it?
Press exclamation mark merch in the chat. That normally is one of the guys that said it.
Imagine having to pay for a t-shirt with your own face on.
Well, the next question is are we making an adjacent show t-shirt, which is Boss Baby Wilson?
Innis Boss Baby Wilson?
I think we're going to sell it to Innis.
It's just a picture of a baby's face. That's all it's like. It's not even trying to be him.
I guess I should order this stuff before I can't get anything from the UK.
Yeah.
Like that'd be a
probably
super.
should.
That'd be a big
Order it
tragedy.
now while it'll still arrive. Go on, chat.
This is a very fitted looking T-shirt. I don't know if I can even.
I don't know how they work. Basically,
I want to
would
know if
like-
you sold a single podcast fuckboy T-shirt.
I'd have to check with the merch guys. They take care of that side of the business.
Excellent.
It's actually the most profitable part of our business, and the rest of the business is just failing miserably.
Oh, I should get that water bottle. That's a nice looking. This is a double walled water bottle, isn't it?
Mm-hmm,
Look at that. Only 15 quid. I think you're underselling this.
Listen, if I could tell you, there's a specific WhatsApp chat full of the merch guys. We were all friends once. The hatred that spews forth in there continuously. What's happening with the water bottles? Shut up about the damn water bottles. What about the stickers? Oh my god!
I've got an idea. It's a fuckboy T-shirt. I think it's going to be huge, guys.
it's gonna be. I at least think Adam Camilleri should get a fuckboy podcast fuckboy T-shirt. I feel like that's like.
And apparently, Ennis Wilson. 85% chance that you get COVID if you go to that. Or no, 85% chance that you'll see somebody who has COVID if you go to that Georgia tournament. Love it. This is why we're not doing a show anymore, Pete.
0% chance any of them there will be in his boss, Baby Wilson, though.
That sucks. And that's the real tragedy.
Yeah.
That is the real tragedy. I have a question is, would you guys like to do a show where we just take well-known competitive 40k players and we just give them their monikers, like in his...
That's what I used to do on Stat Center. That
Can
was
we get
literally all I
one?
ever did.
Just sketch them.
I did only that.
Yeah.
It was my only value add was that show.
Which ones have you come up with?
Adam Latin Gandalf Solace really stuck. That was a good one.
That's where Marigold comes from.
Jeremy Marigold for Jeremy Martino, Marigold Martino. There's been a few others. One of my Siegler ones stuck for a while, not the Hitler reference one, the other one that I forget. I mean, that one stuck for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, definitely. Oh.
Yeah, definitely said, hey, don't leave that in the recording. And Val loved it so much that he did.
I did. Definitely left it there.
Definitely left it.
That was like one of his first wins too. I think that was like that.
Yeah,
that Iron Man.
I referred to him as Richard Siegler, and then immediately said, "Hey, let's cut that." And all of that is in the show. So
cut that on this show too, please.
Yeah,
we will edit not a damn thing. Yeah, you will listen to all of it.
But I want to clarify that those are the Falcons' words and do not represent.
They can represent me. That's fine.
By the way, Boss Baby, here's a little adjacency. Does anyone remember the cartoon show Cops? Cops from the Future.
Yes.
No, I don't have that.
No, I think that's a Canadian.
It's an amazing show.
It was an amazing show. Anyway, you should look it up. But the bad guy in
bulletproof. Anyway.
Yeah, and the bad guy in there was Big Baby, I think. Yeah, he was baby. Yeah, he was a mob boss. He was a little baby, and he talked like this. See?
Yeah, like he had two little henchmen, baby brothers. Yeah, it was a thing. I think his babysitter got involved at one point too.
There was a long arm. Yes, Meatball knows what we're talking about.
That's not a battering ram arm. That's an arm for different things.
Oh wow!
Arm. There was the dude that shot handcuffs out of his wrists or whatever. Like,
apparently it was whoa, cool. I'm learning about this show. Wow, cool.
Big Baby was kind of a Kingpin ripoff. Was he like young Kingpin?
No, he was literally just a baby.
Yeah.
A mob boss baby.
Like
and they had really bad puns. Lots of bad puns. Like that was the shtick. Really bad baby puns. Just like Ennis Wilson. Like in all forms.
Well, to wrap this up, because someone has to.
We could go all day.
I know. I know. Next week is the Christmas adjacent show.
The Christmas
adjacent.
Yeah. So I hope you guys have got see, this episode was all based on the ideas we came up last night in our chat, which was I asked the guys, any thoughts on tomorrow? And they put, no, this makes me uncomfortable.
That was Val's response. This question makes me feel uncomfortable. And then I said, just sex stuff, please. And so really we panned out as expected because Tom Layton came on the show in a singlet, and that was all I needed for the sex.
Wait,
stuff.
Tom the singlet later.
Tom
I
the
look good.
singlet.
I look good in a singlet there.
I mean, he does.
Okay. All right, fine. I was just deeply into this.
No, I think Pete and I hallucinated Big Baby. I'm trying to find him.
The mob boss. He might not be called Big Baby, but there is like a mob boss baby.
He's called. Well, there's Big Boss Brandon, the Big Boss Babel, Babel. I don't know. And this is the guy I think I imagined was a baby, but he's a grown ass man. I don't know. This is strange. We'll have to delve deeper.
Yeah, we'll look into it for you people.
There is a 76-page cops wiki that we can go deep into if we need to.
Surely there's one of those OC websites where people can submit their own characters for cops.
Certainly.
There's got to be. I'm going to find it with one hand because my other hand is on this stupid night.
Okay, well, it's Christmas stream next week. Very excited. Maybe that'll be what we can do. We could give competitive players some names as Christmas presents next week.
Okay.
Or that could be something fun to do. It doesn't have to be. We could do naughty and nice next week. Who knows? All of America, naughty. Put them in the box. No offense, obviously, to W. Soren and everyone in Texas. Obviously, loads of you are great. Love you tons.
He's still naughty, though.
Love you tons. You all seem very distracted looking up.
We're looking up the baby.
Yeah, I'm trying to find him. I think this is something we hallucinated. But anyway,
Small guy. His name was Small Guy.
His name's Small Guy. Okay, all right. Okay, cool. Got
it's fine. It's fine. I'm just going to go. Listen, it's a pleasure doing this. Dan, thanks for appearing on the show as a guest.
Dan? Tom?
Oh, yeah, it's me.
Oh,
Singlet.
Dan. Yeah, you didn't change his name. Got it.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay.
Singlet Tom. Val, thanks for getting up. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. On time, every time.
And Pete, thanks for being the most awake. We'll see you probably for another year.
We'll never see this side of Pete
True
again.
story. You'll never see this again until COVID's gone, and then I can leave my children alone for 2 minutes. That's what's going to happen. Then you'll see me.
Amazing.
It's been amazing. It's been a pleasure. You guys are great. Look after yourself. Stay healthy. Whatever. I got no sign out on the show today. I don't know where to...
Rob, here's a good sign out. Can I give a quick shout out?
Who to?
Uh-oh.
I want to give a shout out to Joe.
Okay.
Well
done to
he doesn't
Joe
go for it.
Mama.
Joe Mama! There you go.
Joe Mama's so fat, she's got a gravitational pull.
No.
No,
Cut.
he's
Cut.
Pete, you got any shout-outs?
No.
Okay. Val?
I really only shout
Cops
you
in
out.
the future. Time. I think that's what it was.
Join us next
to
week.
find it.
It's been beautiful that you've been here. Fuck you, buddies. Have a great